The secretary will read the order.
Debate on vote number 28, police, including vote number 24, Independent Police Investigative Directorate, and vote number 21, Civilian Secretariat for Police Service, Appropriation Bill.
I now invite to the podium the Honorable Minister of Police to introduce the budget vote. The Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. All protocols observed. Honorable members, today I present to this august House the policing budget of the Republic of South Africa that responds decisively to the ongoing outcry and complaints from the fellow South Africans. Today, our budget presentation simply says, we have heard your cries. Therefore, going forward, our policing direction is continuing to respond decisively and vigorously to our constitutional mandate as outlined in Section 205. To prevent, combat, and investigate crime, maintain public order, protect and secure the inhabitants of the Republic of South Africa, their property, and uphold and enforce. Hence, our theme this year says, combating crime through decisive police action and robust community involvement. Honorable Chair, this is being achieved through the following 10 policing commands. 1, increase crime prevention and combating action plan. Crime prevention and combating are being immensely increased during this financial year going forward. SAPS management have adopted a vigorous action plan that ensuring the streets and highway of the country are saturated with ongoing weekly high-density operations. These operations will sweep the streets and sanitize communities from criminality. Chairperson, the SAPS has unleashed a nationwide disruptive armed intervention called Operation Chanela. This includes intelligence and disruptive operation tracking and tracing of wanted suspects, as well as the removal of illegal firearms. This approach is being intensified over weekends and directed by the crime trends and recording thereof. Sihlalo, yebo. Cela umphakathi ubambisane namaphoyisa ukushanela bonke ubugebengu obuhlasele eMzansi Afrika. Provincial commissioners are leading from the front, station commanders are leading from the front, and national management leading from the front. This year, we say action, action, action. Maphoyisa ayashanela, umphakathi uyashanela. Phezu kwazo isigebengu maphoyisa. Let us all sweep away criminality by combating crime through decisive policing action and robust community involvement. In this regard, weekly meetings led by the executive are running concurrently to monitor progress of these operations and provide support and leadership to ensure that we respond accordingly to the outcry by the fellow citizens. Provinces with the highest incidence of reported crime have been prioritized in terms of the allocation of baseline budgets. This also ensures the prioritization and resourcing of the top 30 high conduct crime stations in the country. An additional amount of 65 million is allocated to these provinces. The strengthening and the capacitation of technical responses, that's TROT. High crime stations are being prioritized with objective of policing high crime areas and providing a rapid response capability to local crime fighting. The intervention of the TROT at local level has been demanded by communities, and the SAPS is responding accordingly with the training of 1,000 new additional members on this. Specialized tracking teams are enhanced and members trained further at provincial and district level to effectively track and apprehend offenders. Specific emphasis is placed on the stabilization of crime in identifying high crime areas, tracking measures police matters, corruption, extortion, kidnapping, illegal mining, illicit economic sabotage, and damaging of critical infrastructure. Part of combating pillar of the action
Recording in progress.
for the costs associated with training, operational equipment, and the payment of monthly stipends to trainees and their
Karoo region of Fontaine in the Western Cape. This new ground station will be helping to track history-making NASA missions to the moon and beyond by 2025. The partnership will also see continued skills development in space science and technology, which the DSI has been investing in for years. Honorable Chair and honorable members, as a department, we've also contributed to the fight against COVID-19 by continuing with research, development, and innovation in African natural medicines through the National Policy Data Observatory. We've made significant progress, I'm also pleased to say, in institutionalizing the indigenous knowledge-based bioinnovation program, including high-level funding to improve research facilities at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, the Free State, and Pretoria. As part of implementing the Bioproducts Advancement Network, South Africa, we are piloting an indigenous product program fund in collaboration with the technology. All our boards of entities, executives, and staff of all our institutions, and everybody who contributed towards the achievement of our policy mandate. Through science, we will continue the liberation and the deepening of development in our country with and for our people, especially the working class and the poor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Order. Honorable members, order. Makaula. Makaula, order. Please. The next speaker will be Honorable Mukhato.
Honorable House Chairperson, honorable members of the Portfolio Committee on Higher Education, Science and Innovation, members of the National System of Innovation, and most importantly, citizens of Africa. Good afternoon. It's a great pride that I debate the budgets of the Department of Science and Innovation for the year 2023-2024 and its entity. And I must really admit that we are inspired by the work that has been presented to us. And that should be the nature of science, innovation, and technology, should inspire. But it's without question that the greatest theme that has come through in the work of this committee in the last 4 years has been the need to have a transformed, inclusive, and thus impactful national system of innovation. Our understanding is that research that is produced by this department, innovation that's invented by this department and its entities, ought to respond to the daily lived realities of the people of this country. And therefore, the National System of Innovation, the NSI, must look and feel like those it seeks to serve. One of the greatest tools towards an impactful national system of innovation is what has recently been adopted and finalized, which is the decadal plan. The decadal plan will have direct impact in ensuring that the inclusivity and impact and the transformation we want to see in the national system of innovation will be there. Honorable members of this portfolio committee, I want to laud you for the hard effort you put on in ensuring that the department finalizes this plan, and now our efforts must be directed towards the implementation of this plan. What makes the decadal plan such an important tool in transformation and impact for science and technology is that firstly, the decadal plan seeks to ensure an inclusive and coherent national system of innovation, keyword there being inclusive. It seeks to expand and transform the research system, keyword there being transform. It seeks to increase and ensure future-proof human capabilities, keyword there being future-proof. We speak about future skills. We want skills that will be relevant to the future, and therefore the decadal plan seeks to ensure future-proof human capabilities. It also seeks to create an enabling environment for innovation. And lastly, the decadal plan seeks to achieve increased funding for the NSI. And I know the issue of funding is one that concerns many of us in the NSI. Looking at the aspirations of this committee for the NSI and the impact it ought to have on the lives of ordinary and all South Africans, the implementation of the decadal plan becomes quintessential. The ANC in its 55th National Conference resolved that there be a deliberate plan for science, technology, innovation-led industrial and socio-economic development, and the decadal plan becomes key in achieving this. It will propel the DSI and its entities to drive the contributions that they can make and want to make in various departments and at various spheres of government. In the DSI and its entities, and I don't mean to brag here, we really have gems of solutions, research, innovations, technologies that can respond to challenges such as the energy crisis, water insecurity, climate change, human settlement, food insecurity, cyber insecurity, and many other challenges facing many departments and spheres of government. Allow me to share a few of these plans that we believe will be really impactful in the development of our country. Firstly, there's no foundation without skills, right? There's no future without skills. And when we speak about skills, we need to start at basic education. And we know to the work that the department plans on doing in ensuring that at a basic education level, we invest in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We see the work that the NRF through SASTA wants to do, that ASAP through STEMI wants to do, but the CSIR through the Center for High Performance Computing wants to do to support science, technology, engineering, and mathematics by training educators and running STEM activities in schools. When we move from basic education towards universities, we also need to strengthen all universities and their academic agenda. Hence, we welcome the NRF developing a funding program specific to historically disadvantaged institutions to support the improvement of their research infrastructure and to provide effective research development opportunities for their academics. This will also address the concentration of research chairs in the so-called top 5 universities in our country. When we move from universities, we then need to move towards TVET colleges. You cannot speak about technology, new technologies, 4IR, innovation, impact, inclusivity, without reaching out and including TVET colleges. And that's why we welcome the plans of the CSIR to establish 18 learning factories in TVET colleges across the country to ensure that 4IR skills development and adoption takes place in TVET colleges as well. You see, honorable members, TVETs are an integral component in bringing life to research. We believe that once you research, or once the research has been done, that research must feed into innovation that can be produced and manufactured by TVET colleges. And that is why we welcome plans of the department to expand their locations of the technology stations to TVET colleges as well, and not for them to only exist within universities. Now, commercialization of innovation, ensuring that when a person is living in South Africa or in the township of our country has innovated a product and wants for it to be brought into the market, we need to support them to be able to commercialize that particular innovation from a grassroots level, and when we also speak about large-scale innovation. And we welcome the intentions of TIA to train to support 3,100 SMMEs, cooperatives, and grassroots innovators through science, engineering, and technology and enterprise development support. We also welcome the establishment of an additional technology and innovation support center. We also want to then, still speaking to this issue around supporting the commercialization of innovations, welcome what the CSIR will be doing to support the work of TIA by putting in place a 100 million rand seed fund that will de-risk technologies into commercially ready prospects. Now, this is really something that's marvelous to watch, how one entity of the department, the CSIR, is working on commercialization. TIA is also working on commercialization. And this means that there is synergy and coherence within the national system of innovation. And the only thing we caution in this regard is for the department to ensure that there's no duplication of some of these particular initiatives. I then want to move towards SANSA. And SANSA, like many other entities, is really doing a lot of work around science engagement. They intend on engaging 45,000 young people in the country to ensure that they know about the space industry. And this will also have a direct impact on ensuring that the space industry is transformed and inclusive, because young people will know that the space industry does exist in South Africa. My other concern is that Minister and DM, it really, I have got no problem with NASA, but we see South African kids wearing NASA t-shirts, hoodies, caps, and everything. But I really want South African people, young people to know about SANSA. I want them to know that we have a South African National Space Agency that they can too be part of, where they can also be part of a team that will put together a satellite that will be launched into space that will help us to monitor or remote sense and support the country in terms of agriculture and food security, water resource management, spatial planning and infrastructure monitoring, but also to help us plan better for disasters like those that we saw in the Eastern Cape, in KwaZulu-Natal, and the Free State last year. But also becomes important is that once all this data has been collated through remote sensing and observing the Earth, it can't be, that data will remain meaningless if we aren't able to use it to protect the livelihoods of all, and in particular the most vulnerable. That's why it's important that we welcome the plans of SANSA to have more trainings for government departments at all spheres of government, particularly those who ought to be key users of space-related products and services. So from the National Department of Agriculture to local municipalities, the incorporation and the use of space products and services has direct impact on our capacity to protect livelihoods and sustainably develop our communities. We also must acknowledge the plans of the department are not detached from our national strategic objectives in terms of the district development model and the economic reconstruction and recovery plan. But also that these plans speak to what the president wants us to address. So for example, TIA has a lot of strategic initiatives towards the just energy transition and will provide energy innovation centered on an energy mix. I can go on and on about the great plans that this department has for our country. But I want to take a moment to really welcome the new chairs and boards of various councils. The new chairs of boards in various councils and new CEOs. And I want to make a particular mention to the women who have come to the fore in this particular moment. Prof. Sarah Musweta, who's now the CEO of the HSRC, and Prof. Nompumelelo Obobo, who's now the CEO of SACNAS, Let us also wish the DG and his team all the best for this financial year. We look forward to receiving the reports on the implementation of these plans and the utilization of this budget. DG, ours is not an obsession with a team audits. We know that this department and its entities will bring us the best of audits or audit reports, but that will mean nothing if that team audit does not translate to hope, change, and progress for the people of South Africa. Let us ensure that the successful implementation of these plans and the team audits that will follow will bring sustainable water to will bring safety to the people of the LGBTQIA community, will bring accessibility innovations to my friend Megan, who lost her eyesight at the age of 21, and will bring along all the bright minds of this country, like the robotics class at Bembeti College. Despite a real increase of 13.4% in the budget from the DSI from 2022 to 2023, or from 2022-23 to 23-24, the committee knows that more resources are needed for greater impact. Across entities, there was a shared cry on resources and how the lack thereof impacts target setting, infrastructure development, but also how it impacts the retention of skills. One of the more concerning financial realities is that the NRF that funds postgraduate students can currently only fund 35% of those that qualify for their funding. This government has successfully increased the demand for postgraduate study, and so the NRF would need over 2 billion rand to fund all those who apply for it and actually qualify. The committee has implored over the years as a starting point for the department to look into coordinating all postgraduate funding in government as a starting point, and we still really want to emphasize that we should do this, coordinate all the postgraduate funding and have it administered by the NRF. We know the issues around the private sector not investing enough on research and development and the plans we have for international investment in research and development. And we say, please, let's make sure that the national objectives of this country are not compromising the work thereof. But we also know on budget issues, DG, that the decadal plan will really be a great tool for us to be able to better coordinate budgets that can be earmarked from different departments. And therefore, we again want to emphasize that the decadal plan really is an enabling tool for us to push forth the science and innovation agenda of this country to its greatest heights, leaving no one behind and ensuring that the national strategic objectives of this country are supported. House Chair, with this department being the beacon of hope, the well of wisdom, and the catalyst of innovation for this country, we move for the adoption of Budget 435. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The next speaker will be Honorable Kakao.
House Chairperson, the Department of Science and Innovation is supposed to be this country's solution to all that plagues our nation. From this department, we should have long seen innovative and sustainable solutions to our electricity generation and maintenance mess, but dololo. To date, there remains no synergy between this department and either of President Ramaphosa's 3 electricity ministry and the planning and monitoring presidential ministry, making them all 4. Firstly, because President Ramaphosa's plans are dull, and secondly, because Minister Blade Nzimande lacks the creative imagination and political will to break those silos. From this department, we should have long seen modern proposals on how to broaden access to tertiary education. By now, you would think that this department, given that we are 12 years into the 4th industrial revolution, would have at least handed Minister Nzimande a digital tertiary education plan that would achieve 4 very basic things. 1, more students getting access to tertiary institutions of their choice, with those who do not need to be physically present on campus being able to study from South African institutions from wherever in this world. Because one's geographic location must never be a reason that hampers their ability to future their studies. Secondly, freeing up accommodation spaces for those who do not have any means of studying at home and depend on university and TVET student accommodation to further their studies. See, this would result in less need for off-campus residents that charge an arm and a leg for a single bed and toilet space. Number 3, focusing on making education more affordable for middle class and missing middle families while increasing government's funding for more poor students, because fundamentally we believe that no student should be left behind. Fourthly, affording young people the freedom to work and study at institutions of their choice with a competent academic workforce. Because young people should never have to choose between putting food on the table and acquiring education that is practically attainable, especially in faculties such as humanities and law. And we should be able to do both. And it is this department's job to ensure the how. See, the bottom line here is that not only do we have a lot of catching up to do with the current technological and industrial trends to meet the needs and demands of our nation, but the thinking in this department is just not scientific and innovative enough. Yes.
No, thank you very much, Chair. My name is Tebo Folisi. The
No, don't do that.
the
Order, honorable members. Order, 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 order. Honorable members,
it's law.
order. Honorable Letier, please don't do that. Can you make your point?
No, thank you very much. I was
Can we hear why Honorable Letier has raised his hand?
no, thank you very much, House Chair. Yeah.
Can you?
Thank you. No, I was reminding the speaker on the podium that what debate in science and innovation.
No,
She has not
out
went.
of order, Honorable Letier.
She's been on higher education.
Honorable Kakao, just a bit. All right.
Chairperson, just on a point of order, this honorable member.
Honorable members, can we have order? Honorable Little. Honorable Little, I can't hear the point that is being raised here. Can I listen to the speaker?
Thank you, Chair. Chairperson, the honorable member should know by now, educated to know that we should address the speaker and not my member with my members. So if you could please just educate him, I would appreciate it. Thanks.
No, I have rebutted him. Honorable Kakao, can you proceed?
The honorability has proof that the ANC's thinking lacks innovation and leadership. See, the bottom line has not only do we have to catch up with, not only do we have a lot of catching up to do with the current technological and industrial trends to meet the needs and demands of our nation, but the thinking in this department is simply not scientific and innovative enough. And this is also seen in their inability to fund 75% of qualifying National Research Fund applicants. And the reason is simple. Minister Blade Nzimande and the ANC's thinking and leadership around innovation are poor, irrelevant, and are costing us our futures. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, the house is very small, very, very small. So if you shout, we are not going to hear each other. Honorable Mohal.
Thank you. Greetings to our Commander-in-Chief, the officials of the Economic Freedom Fighters. Now welcome to the members of the Central Command team and fighters. As Chairperson, I am delighted to finally get to see the Minister of Higher Education present here today. Honorable Blade has been absent from the committee for a very long time, so we're delighted to have him here. And his absence happens while the department is responsible, is faced with a range of issues from student protests to the nepotism in Stellenbosch University and the ANC-led degrees for sale corruption at Fort Hare University. So we are very happy to see the minister finally after a very long time. The only time we get to see or hear of the minister speak is when he's throwing tantrums over the publicity that his deputy minister seems to be enjoying. So he has graduated from being a minister of government to become more of a reality TV star who wants cameras around him 24/7. So maybe the cameras can focus more on the minister now. Science and innovation are powerful catalysts for progress, enabling societies to address complex problems, improve living conditions, and create a brighter future. Continued investment in scientific research, fostering a culture of innovation, and promoting collaboration across disciplines are crucial for leveraging their potential to move society forward. House Chairperson, when the CEO of the EWC came to the committee to present the strategic plan and annual performance plan, she lamented the lack of Black players in the hydrogen economy that the minister was speaking about. Her observation was that it was a white boys club. Those were her exact words. Hydrogen has been hailed as a new gold rush, with the potential to contribute between 70 to 160 billion to our economy. However, the structural barriers and systemic inequalities contribute to the lack of diversity in various scientific and technological fields, including the hydrogen fuel cells. Historical inequities, unequal access to education and resources, limited opportunities for mentorship and professional development, and unconscious biases all play a role in perpetuating the underrepresentation of Black people in this new and exciting field. So we are creating an industry which is dominated by white people. The decline in R&D expenditure by big business is a clear indication of their lack of confidence in the current government because of their corruption and the constant power outages. Load shedding has a negative impact on research projects, makes it difficult to access data and equipment, and increases costs. It also makes it difficult to attract and retain top talent, as the researchers are not willing to work in an environment where their work is constantly being interrupted by load shedding. There are some of the labs which are spending millions which were supposed to be spent towards R&D is now being used to procure diesel because of load shedding. The reduction of the health innovation research allocation from 95 million to 55.2 million will lead to fewer research opportunities. This means that fewer studies can be conducted, limiting our understanding of diseases and healthcare practices. This may impede exploration for innovative ideas and discovery of breakthrough therapies or intervention. The vaccine apartheid that we experienced following the outbreak of COVID-19 highlights the importance of ensuring that we are self-reliant and we are not at the mercy of the Western world when it comes to our health. Indigenous knowledge is recognized for its value in promoting sustainable development, conservation, and resilience in the face of environmental and social challenges. It offers alternative perspectives, insights, approaches that can complement and enrich Western scientific knowledge. Decreased funding for indigenous knowledge, which the minister was speaking about, which has moved from 13.8 million to 6.8 million, will accentuate and perpetuate the inequalities, hinder inclusive decision-making processes, and lead to the underrepresentation of indigenous perspective in research, policy, and developmental agenda. In line with the Andri Cleanup campaign led by the economic freedom fighters, we call for innovative ways of dealing with the problem of waste across the country. South Africans generate almost 130 million tons of municipal solid waste per year. Of this waste, a maximum of 10% is recycled or recovered for other uses, while at least 90% is taken to landfill or dumped illegally. We are running out of landfill space and we are going to lose the fight against waste. Therefore, a waste to energy plant which generates 1 megawatt per hour of energy from 2 tons of waste and has the potential to generate 60 million megawatts of energy. Pollution will be controlled by air pollution control devices such as scrubbers. So far, we will be able to resolve 2 problems, which is waste through this waste to energy model. That is dealing with our waste and energy challenges. But there's more, as ash in the combustion process, which has been successfully used in the construction, solving yet another legacy of the ANC misgovernance, that of potholes. In 2019, China became one of the prominent countries that installed the world's largest incineration. The EFF rejects the proposed budget for science and technology.
The next speaker will be Honorable Zondo. Order, honorable members. Order. Honorable members, there is a speaker on the podium. Honorable Zondo.
Honorable Chairperson, as a country, We have set number of goals through National Development Plan in order to eliminate poverty and reduce inequality by the year of 2030. There have been three main priorities at the five, which are increasing employment through fast economic growth, improving the quality of our education, skill and innovation, as well as building state capacity to play a developmental and transformation role. Unfortunately, we are far from achieving this, as what we have seen is not a development at all, an economic regression. We have considered an annual report of a number of entities such as the National Skills Funds, Service Sector, Insurance Sector, and the Construction Education and Training Authority. And even though they are all equally important, I focus on just few policy areas above. After accessing this report, we would like to bring to the attention of the Minister of Higher Education and Science and Technology concerns such as development of some skills of monitoring strategies in assessing the impact of NSF skills development intervention on beneficiaries, so to assess whether they get employment opportunities after training programs. There should be a consequence imposed against officials who are responsible for repairing underperformance relating to the financial management and supply chain management processes. Concerning the sector, we are of the view that service providers that have failed to deliver the contractual agreement should be barred from doing any other business with any other sector. The department must prioritize a capable, respected, and empowered audit unit within the department to help get it on track on its financial flow. The audit unit should not merely be paid lip service, but all employees must work to meet and achieve its findings. To ensure a smooth operation of these entities, common solution applies, such as swift action being taken against senior managers who occupy positions without necessary qualification, and more effective system be put in place to ensure that the performance information is supported by credible records. Honourable Minister, we are concerned about the 73 vacancies that exist within the NSF and that need to be prioritized. With such large number of vacancies, what hope does the fund have of meeting this target and improve its efficiency? One major concern of the IFP is the call for quarterly report as a common theme of the most of the entities, as well as obvious shortcoming with the achievement of its target. In regard to the audit action plan, the IFP support the budget. I saw we should ANC ulungise inkinga zawo no-FF ungaze usiphazamisela lapha sisebenza.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, honorable members. Honorable Bishop, I have not recognized you. Honorable members, the next speaker will be Honorable Bishop.
Honorable House Chair, the Department of Science and Innovation has wide-ranging functions, from the National Research Foundation to the Department of its own, to the Technology Innovation Agency, provides finance for innovative tech-based enterprises. Social Sciences and Research Council, we make sense of human responses to the fast-changing world. This department has an essential function. It places into space, send rockets into space, and facilitate the radio signals out of space. This affects the messages of the video. Yet, we will consider the activities of this department. The committee is also young and vibrant. In Benbeck, we saw the difference science and innovation can make. We saw how the college empowers its students and alumni, not only to acquire the knowledge and skills to participate in the global economy, but enables them to do it right there from outside to yonder. This department is an economic generator. The nature of technology is sometimes to equalize the playing field. These days, it's not important anymore to whether village in the Popo is connected to either the power or the telephone grid, because often electricity is a reality. And so the cellular communication is my telephone line option. But this generating department budget has to cut. It must do more with less. Does government take the department seriously? Technology is dead without the human faculty of innovation. En hierdie veld, dat moet ek sê, in hierdie veld het die grootste mate kundige mense. Kennis, kommunikasie, finansiering en toerusting kan alles beskikbaar wees, maar dit kry eers betekenis as dan mense is wat dit hulle eie maak, wat dit toepas, wat die dryfkrag het om iets daarmee te beteken wat vir ander mense iets beteken. Wanneer waarmee 'n land 'n besigheid, enige stelsel ook al besig is, jy pas jou grootste bate op. Ons aanvaar net vir die argument. Die mees ongunstige verduideliking vir hoekom wetenskap en innovasie en innovering 'n white voice choir of club. 'n White voice choir. Ons aanvaar die mees negatiewe verduideliking van. Daardie bidmans wat in 1994 vir die staat gewerk het, was die staat se baan. 27 April 1994 is daardie staat onder die ANC se regering, met ander woorde op 'n manier gesê, die ANC se baan. Die regering kon vir hulle gesê, julle is hier omdat julle onregverdige voordeel ontvang het. Nou gaan julle hier bly tot elkeen van julle 2 of 3 swart mense opgelei het wat julle werk kan oorneem, wat beter as julle is. Maar dit is wat gebeur het. Dit is 'n transformasie tyd met deskundigheid wat uitvloei soos water. Ek weet nie so water nie, maar water is water. Watter entiteit ons ook al ontmoet, daar's vakante koste en vinnige omset van personeel klaar die funksionering daar. Then we have the East Coast, which is highly impressive, but still, the newly established national park is not fixed at least 18 months after the year. Costing was done and only execution remained. We were told that locals would get access to super fast internet connection. My information is that it has been denied them to this date. I would like to hear that. Valuations down to enterprise servitude which we acquired did not consider the socio-economic impact on farm dwellers when employers or employees. Honorable Deputy Minister Maramela said in an answer to a question that was need to do so. Document. Honorable Minister, we visited the infrastructure and we were impressed. Now, I want to invite you to accompany me when I visit farms in the area. Don't let the Hazen officials tell you what they think you need here. We like the department and its work. We even like the DJ, but sometimes we don't like its style. I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, the next speaker will be the Honorable Deputy Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable House Chairperson, Minister Dr. Blayton Zimande, Chairperson of our Portfolio Committee, Ms. Nompendulo Mkhatshwa, together with members of the committee, Dr. Sishi, together with all the officials and entities of the Department of Science and Innovation. I joined the Minister in presenting this budget board speech under the theme using science, technology, and innovation to grow our country and together resolve its challenges.
Thank you, House Chairman. I just want to check. Is all of the cameras in tune and focused on the minister, deputy minister? Was all of the cameras must be totally focused on the for his portfolio of evidence, please, ma'am.
That's not a point of order. Can you please proceed, Honorable Deputy Minister?
Thank you. This is the last budget of the term of the 6th administration. The time ultimate before we observe the 30th anniversary of our liberation as a country. Also presenting this budget 2 days before the commemoration of Africa. In doing so, we locate our department and its agencies within the broader context of moving Africa's Agenda 2063 forward within the framework of science, technology, and innovation. Science, technology, and innovation remains critical in dealing with these major challenges. With the political leadership, we have to answer the question, how has the democratic state, science, technology, and innovation improve the people's quality of life, especially our young people? Formed by the National Development Plan and our white paper on science, technology, and innovation, and our decadal plan, over the period under review, we've made several interventions that are aimed at improving our people's lives. These includes, two of those, the Ministers of Education, which is the 24/7 science-based, science weather observation in Manus, and our agreement with NASA of the US, but over and above, championing the development of our local diagnostics products in response to COVID-19, ultimately approved by SAMHSA and made by Cape Bio, which spun out of the CSIR and also medical diagnosis check. Investment in bioeconomy focus on indigenous innovation, including supporting a women cooperative, Salty Crafters in Sikokuni, which now has an off-take agreement with retail giant Food Lovers. Last year, we were able to launch 4 nanosatellites dedicated to our oceans and coastal information management system, supporting our economic sovereignty. We're also proud, in 2021, we're given the responsibility to support the building of vaccine manufacturing capacity in low and middle income countries, as the minister mentioned, through the mRNA technology transfer hub. And in a short space of time, we developed a vaccine candidate that is undergoing various trials. Last night in Geneva, on the sidelines of the World Health Assembly, this, as was reported in the news, was celebrated by the international community, signaling our readiness to manufacture life-saving vaccine if the next pandemic. Finally, as part of modernizing manufacturing through advanced manufacturing initiative, we were able to manufacture locally the life-saving ventilators during COVID-19, relying on our technology stations and to utilize our project management SK. By all accounts, these are remarkable achievements for a democracy that is less than 30 years old and located in a in a continent condemned. One of the objectives of the colonial project was to strengthen the falsity that when the European encountered Africans, we as Africans had no concept of science or capacity to engage in higher forms of thought such as philosophy, mathematics, or logic. To counter that, what is known as the coloniality of knowledge, over the years, our department put in place a policy and institutional mechanisms that are deliberately aimed at promoting our indigenous knowledge system. One of the ways we continue doing this is the rollout of our Bachelors of Indigenous Knowledge degree at the Universities of Venda and the University of Northwest. To date, approximately 300 students have graduated in this field. We will continue to ensure that indigenous technologies in mining and astronomy are promoted within our communities, including the Smart Village Pilot in Yandeni, Eastern Cape, a project that earned itself recognition from UNESCO earlier this year. Part of ensuring that we have a requisite number of scientists, researchers, and innovators is by deliberately producing a mass of young Black and women scientists and researchers. To this end, in 2021-2022, a total of 5,643 honors and master's students and 2,527 PhD students were supported. We are steadfast to meet our target of awarding 12,000 PhD bursaries in the 2019-2024 medium-term expenditure framework. 7,200 PhD students ready to achieve. In a budget debate that is likely to shine good news, it may be important to note that by the end of June 2022, we had supported 17,211 masters and honors students, 7,000 short of the 24,000 targets that we committed in the beginning of this year expenditure. This is not all. In the 20, of course, yes, and we're only halfway. Just mathematics. I know you know math, science, not things you are very good at, but just listen. In the 2021 academic year, we commenced with the implementation of the DSI NRF full cost of study support for 3 categories of postgraduate students, benefiting more than 2/3 of first-time funded postgraduate students. After the floods that swept part of the Western Cape, KZN and Eastern Cape, and the role that space science played in geomapping and helping disaster management interventions with efficient response capacity, we cannot overemphasize the role that agencies such as SANSA play in impacting the lives of our people. And through SANSA, we have supported 285 postgraduate students at honors, masters, and PhD level during the period 2018 to date, a total of 58 in 2023 alone, so that we can beef up their capacity to look out for these opportunities. With the advent of COVID-19, just as is the case with any pandemic, the proliferation of disinformation and fake news became entangled with scientific knowledge, and in some parts of the world, conspiracy theories taking advantage of people's lack of grasp in scientific knowledge. This was perpetuated by the mainstream media, its lack of appreciation of the importance to understand science and present it in such a way that everyone can appreciate its value and save lives. We're working hard to reverse this. One of the facilities that is central to our work of promoting public understanding of science, technology, and innovation is the Albertina Nontsikelelo Sisulu Science Center in Baba, which has revolutionized the way science centers engage with the public. Scientists from the CSIR are working with 25 learners from St. James and Gopin Baba Secondary Schools to monitor the performance of technologies of the Science Center. The learners from these 2 schools are collecting and uploading data on the performance of technologies of the Science Center, bridging the gap between scientists and citizens. As part of our work in the continent, we have recently signed a memorandum of understanding with the Democratic Republic of Congo's Ministry of Scientific Research and Technological Innovation, covering areas such as space science and the hydrogen economy. Further to this, through our bilateral and research cooperation with the CSIR and the Ugandan Industrial Research Institute, there have been upscaling of the essential oils project. This project has resulted in 2 demonstrator farms and 40 people in Uganda receiving training on the essential oils value chain. Together with Ghana and Ethiopia, we participated in the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa study on advancing entrepreneurial universities in Africa through our participation in the Alliance of Entrepreneurial Universities in the continent. Durban University of Technology, NMU, and Stellenbosch University are part of this project. I'm proud to announce that South Africa is the coordinator of the Alliance working group. More than 30 institutions in the continent have become members. Working with the United Nations Women, International Telecommunications Union, and the African Union Communications, we are implementing the African Girls and Code initiative. This is a 4-year program that aims to expose and equip young girls with digital literacy, coding, and personal development skills, targeting a minimum of 2,000 girls between 17 and 25 years by the end of this year. In conclusion, behind all these figures and statistics we have shared here today are human beings, families, and communities. Its expectation is that this budget will indeed impact their lives in a fundamental way. That are some of the political parties here today tells us that they are opposed to this budget. Then there can only be one conclusion. Such political parties are opposed to the people. They do not understand the impact that science have on the people and are bent to undermining the transformational and reformative impact that the budget has on the future of our country. This budget embodies the needs, interests, and aspirations of the people. And most importantly, through this budget, we seek to help restore the hope amongst our people that despite our challenges, we must continue to believe that tomorrow can be better done today, and hopefully tomorrow some of you will bring the right speeches. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Next speaker is Honorable Lobo.
Thank you, House Chairperson. The Department of Science and Innovation's mandate is to boost socio-economic development in South Africa through research and innovation by providing leadership and enabling environment and resources for science, technology, and innovation. This is an extremely important function, and if we are to enhance the well-being of South Africans, we need groundbreaking science and innovation. But sadly, the ANC-led government has lost billions of rand in corruption over the years, leaving such important departments as the Department of Science and Innovation seriously underfunded. While cadres have been enriching themselves, their families and friends, departments like Science and Innovation have been neglected. The DA has recently discovered that over a period of just 2 years, the ANC-led government spent 93 million rand maintaining 97 mentions for ministers and deputy ministers. Imagine what the Department of Science and Innovation could have done with this money. The Department of Science and Innovation could have used the 93 million rand to increase its allocation to various institutions for health innovation research from 55 million rand to 148 million rand, to 148 million rand. Or it could have spent the money on increasing its allocation to various institutions for hydrogen innovation research from 43 million rand to 136 million rand. We note the initiative by the South African Council for Natural Scientific Professions to track the unemployment of natural science graduates in an effort to gain insight into areas where the state can intervene. We will be monitoring this initiative closely. House Chairperson, the department needs to start seeing science and innovation as the key enabler of, the government needs to start seeing science and innovation as the key enabler of service delivery. It is undeniable that advancing technologies and innovations will result in improved education, healthcare, and even public service. Minister, you need to ensure that entities like the National Research Foundation are properly funded. You must come up with a plan to provide the funding required by the National Research Foundation in order to fund all qualified bursary and research grant applications, and the 575 million rand, which is required by the public research institutions to support technology development and commercialization. Minister, you must not just talk, you must act. You need to show your commitment to advancing science and innovation in this country, and you can only demonstrate this commitment by making sure that the Department of Science and Innovation is properly funded. There's no doubt that with enough funding, this department can go a long way in addressing a number of challenges facing our country. After next year's general elections, the DA-led moonshot-packed government will ensure that departments like Science and Innovation have enough budgets to carry out their mandates. This is what our country needs. This is what will take South Africa forward. I thank you.
Order, honorable members. Honorable members, order. I now recognize Honorable DP Spear. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Minister and Deputy Minister, Honorable members of Ketegide, the fellow committee members of higher education and science and innovation. Sembingalele. It is for this reason development has had various industrial revolutions to transform the mode of production from the first industrial revolution to the second industrial. And we are currently in the fourth industrial revolution.
which is largely driven by artificial intelligence, with the fifth already in the research and development phase. A focus on indigenous knowledge system is critical to advance the decolonization of knowledge and to also reclaim our indigenous knowledge system. Indigenous knowledge system will be supported by the Department of Science and Innovation. Masisapothe lengane yakwasayensi ngoba ize kakhulu izosihlakula kulo poverty esikuwo. Will create ama-jobs, hambe ye-Northern Cape or kwamanye ama-provinces ukuthi isapothe kanjani kwi-community even ezikoleni. And in Ulale, yeah, improvement of quality, efficiency of processes at various indigenous knowledge system documentation centers.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable members, there has been a plea that we must be mindful that the room is small. When we have to in the country. Honorable Makaula. Honorable Makaula, I'm sure you are not referring to me what you're saying. I hope so. Thank you very much. You may proceed.
The focus of indigenous knowledge systems will truly empower communities and develop their knowledge and systems. Our leading key strategies in a changing world focus on being able to achieve social and economic development through inclusive economic growth and sustainable development. It is one of the department's crucial entities.
Honor. Can the honorable member take a question?
Honorable member, whoever is throwing his voice, you don't do that, you raise your hand. You recognize by the presiding officer. Honorable, you may proceed.
Honorable Chairperson, the African National Congress is focused on the implementation of the National Development Plan as a central policy framework for addressing South Africa's high unemployment, poverty, and inequality. The department has presented that it expects that 100 million will be spent on local SMEs for employment creation, training, and skills transfer, and the implementation of community. Hey.
Take your seat.
Thank you, House Chair. I was just wondering, House Chair, will the honorable member take a question?
Member, are you ready to take a question? Respond.
You will tell, it's an easy one.
No, honorable member, the member is not prepared to take a question. Proceed, honorable speaker. Honorable speaker, take your seat.
Okay.
Honorable member, your hand is up.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, I just want to understand why ANC is not clapping when we were speaking about 100 million, but they clap when we were speaking about 2 billion. Why are they not clapping? Is it because there's no chance to eat? Is it because there's no chance for tenders?
Honorable member.
They must clap.
Honorable member, you raise a point of order. You don't go on and on unless you want to leave the room.
Honorable Chairperson.
Honorable Mokale.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. No, I just wanted to ask, with regards to the fourth industrial revolution that Honorable Member is speaking on.
No, Honorable Member, Honorable Mokale, you don't do that. You raise your hand. And
No, I did.
No, let me proceed. No, don't assist me. Honorable Mhlangwini did it correctly to say she wants to pose a question, then she was disallowed. You don't ask in the same sentence. Finish. Honorable member, are you prepared to take a question on a sphere? You may proceed.
We just wanted to check if the
you
blazer
don't.
is
No,
fourth
no.
industrial
order.
compliant like Stelanda then. The fourth industrial revolution in the ANC is fashion. We know it by fashion.
No, we cannot
It's
allow
fashion.
outing.
So we're checking if the blazer is compliant
Honorable
with the fourth industrial revolution. Yes, Stelanda really came with the blazer of fourth industrial revolution.
Point of order, Honorable Soma.
I've called
Point
you
of
3
order,
times.
Honorable Soma.
The first is a warning, the second is a warning, the third one, may you leave the room, please. Thank you very much. I've called you 3 times, I followed the rules. Honorable Khale, please leave the room. Honorable Khale, please leave the room. Are you also Honorable Khale? I'll call you 3 times. Honorable members. Honorable Khale, honorable member, there's a hand in front of you.
No, thank you very much, Chair. We appreciate that Honorable Khale is going to walk out or be moved out. The point, I think, Chair, maybe let's bear with them. Those in red. This is the only time they have to speak. When you are there, Idi Amin does not allow you to speak like this. When my name is there, you can't be speaking like this. This is the only chance you have. Go ahead. Go ahead. Speaker, this is the only chance they have. Protect us, Speaker. Speaker, please protect us, Speaker.
We want to be threatened by a fool. We want to be threatened by a fool. Let Lithia out as well. Let Lithia follow the EFF.
I've called you 3 times. Let me. No, Honorable. You are engaging with me now. Are you? No, but are you engaging with me? You don't allow me to rule. Honorable Khale, I'll come back to you, Honorable Tia. Honorable Khale, Section in arm, assist me to. Honorable Tia, honorable members, allow me to attend Honorable Khale.
So you must be created. Well, point at you. Who the hell do you think you are? Who the hell do you think you are? Useless human being. Who the hell do you think you are? Useless human being.
There's a point of order, Chair.
Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Come here, come here. Who do you think you are?
Chair, I rise on a point of order, Chairperson.
Who do you think you are? Go and tell your wife and where.
Honorable members,
Who do you think you are?
order, Honorable Tuli.
You think you are
Honorable members, let me just assist you. When I call your name 3 times,
You're not scared of me.
Honorable Tlangwini, can I just,
That guy
Honorable
threatened me
Tlangwini.
outside. You leave him to threaten me.
Okay,
And
Honorable
then you want
Tlangwini.
to come to me. You leave him to threaten me, and then you want to come to me because I'm giving him a response.
Oh, okay.
Why?
Okay. Honorable Tia, Honorable Tlangwini, you may scream. I've called you 3 times. I've explained the calling of name 3 times. Honorable Section in Arms and Protection Services assisted to Honorable Mokhale to leave the room.
But what about that?
Chair, can I, Chairperson, can I please?
I'm taking no hands for now. I'm just waiting for Honorable Mokhale to leave the room.
Chair, if
She's
there's a
going
point
to
of
be
order,
assisted.
you're supposed to.
I'm being ejected for asking a question on the fourth industrial revolution. We know that the fourth industrial revolution in the ANC is fashion. It's a fashion statement. It's a blazer.
No, but you cannot be undermined and have anarchy in the house like this.
Chair, I think we must continue because I think the security is very far today. Let's continue. We'll deal with that matter when they come back.
Thank you very much. Honorable Sia, I've called you 3 times. May you leave the room. I've called you 3 times.
Hamba Lutsiya uzawudibana nomrhale pha ngaphandle.
Honorable Makaula, I will call you 3 times. You'll follow them. Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Tlangwini. Honorable Tlangwini. Honorable Tlangwini. Honorable member, I'm trying to be nice not to call your name. Honorable Tlangwini, I've called you 3 times. May you please leave the room? Now, let me finish with Honorable Tlangwini.
Chair, because I'm responding to an abuser.
Chair,
And a person that make threats to me, and that is why you try throwing me out. You can't protect
Please
me.
go.
You can't protect me.
Honorable Tlangwini.
You can't protect
Honorable
me.
Tlangwini.
You can't protect me. You're throwing me out because I respond to a person that attacks me and make threatened remarks towards me. And you still throw me out alone with that guy. What if he attacks me outside? You still throw me out alone with that guy. What if he attacks me outside?
You are not assisting.
What if he attacks me outside? But I can tell you now, he dare raise a hand on me, he will meet his maker.
Thank you. Leave the room. Please leave the room. Honorable Tlangwini. Section in arms assist Honorable Tlangwini to leave the room. Honorable Tlangwini, Section in arms, kindly ask the protection service to assist Honorable Tlangwini. The order still has to be maintained. Order, honorable members. Honorable Mutla, you had your hand up.
Honorable House Chair, Honorable Paulsen made threats when Honorable Lutsiya was leaving the House. He said that must be looked into. He said the Honorable Lutsiya will die. And those are very serious threats that Honorable Paulsen has made. Can you look into that and make a ruling?
Yes, I will look at that and we make a ruling in the immediate future. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, Honorable members from both sides, can we have order? Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, you may proceed.
Honorable Chairperson. The number of grants awarded per year directed towards science and business is 120 packages in one. With that, the department may be also to increase this number for better strengthening of science and business and growth. Operations per year are at estimation of 171 million. This is a significant amount of this research and development project, and this will in turn contribute to the economic development of the country through practical deliverables from our produced workforce. The department has planned for transformation and will be maintaining the number of research infrastructure grants at 30 over the medium term and increasing the total available broadband capacity provided by the South African National Research. Siyacela sihambe sonke sihambe kanje no science and innovation as kuyingane encane South Africa. Let's focus on the recommendation as recommended, and we must implement those. If there are problems, let's all go and support them. Let's support this department, please. Even if you are not the African National Congress, you are another party, but let's focus and support them. As the department, as the African National Congress, we support the budget. We believe in a country that can support and advocate for the preparation, for the generation of knowledge and skills.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I now recognize Honorable C.V. King.
Chairperson, exactly what took place today is what we're warning the world and the country about of this doomsday pact, not benefiting South Africa as we move on into this country. All these gains that I've been talking about here today is of minuscule nature for any meaningful South Africa in this country. We cannot have bragging rights for our success in innovation when in reality load shedding is raising questions on our ability to translate innovation into practice. Our e-health systems are failing the vulnerable people of Peffable from quickly accessing healthcare. When the postal and communication services do not have the technology for SASSA beneficiaries at Enoch in Kichima municipality to access much needed funds. When children still die in pit latrine toilets, and when the agricultural technology do not quickly translate into sustainable food security. These inconsistencies as a result of decades of underfunding, incoherent and fragmented governance, corruption, and political support undermining the country's national system of innovation. The NSI is even more under threat from structural challenges and declining human capital in this sector, culminating into disinvestment from the private sector. In 2022, Africa's investment in R&D was a mere 1.3% with an output of only 2%. South Africa's investment in R&D a dismal 0.6% of GDP, meaning performance indicators will not be met, projects will not be completed, and upcoming doctoral students will not receive funding. The key question is whether in a middle-income country riddled with unemployment, there is a political will to address defragmentation and the lack of policy coherence to ensure that we've got an innovative science and innovation system. When we look at all of these, we cannot advocate for foreign direct investment because 93 million rand is being spent on ministers' houses for maintenance, and yet we need to be thankful for this ANC. The minister, you need to ensure that NACI is in the office in the presidency to ensure fit for purpose scientists, direct innovative policy initiative to every sector in our economy to give true meaning to economic recovery and renewal. NACI's position in the presidency will decisively look at leveraging R&D to develop human capital capacity from grassroots level, increase R&D to 1% by 2024, and integrating science output to attract private sector investment through collaborative engagement to address structural deficiencies. The Western Cape is clear on the mandate to be the innovative hub in South Africa, with Cape Town having the largest telecommunication market and the most venture capital activity in South Africa. They know to be a smart city, opening the door to more startups to boost economic growth and decrease unemployment rate. The city of Cape Town has launched 1.2 billion rand social plant project for green and just energy transition, ultimately a step closer to be self-reliant on their way to have their own energy mix and away from the darkness of load shedding. There is no magic bullet to fast-track innovation without growth investment in R&D and a strong political will to put science and innovation at the heart of economic development, leaving no one behind in the process. Minister, we cannot solve problems with the same thinking we used to create them. Survival is for the ones who are adapting to change. Change is coming, whether you like it or not. Under the new government in 2024, science and innovation will be the focus of South Africa's social and economic trajectory. And racial quotas will not be relevant to deter minority groups from to actively participate in the country of their birth, like Honorable Pillay and Honorable Afro. Just like in 1969, the impossible was made possible with the first moon landing. In 2024, these naysayers on the right will experience the wrath of South Africans as the moonshot elections will be the impossible, which will be becoming possible. I thank you.
Honourable members, I now recognize Honourable KP Pillay.
House Chairperson, Honorable Minister and Deputy Minister, Chairperson of the committee, fellow honorable members, our young scientists, and all South Africans on all platforms, good afternoon. Sawubona. His Excellency the President, in his State of the Nation address, said that as a nation, at this time more than any other, we need to reveal our true character. This was on the backdrop of the impact of the coronavirus pandemic on the economy, which requires implementation of the economic reconstruction and recovery plan. Therefore, the nation's resilience amid economic stagnation is paramount. Science and innovation play the biggest role in the response to the threat of the coronavirus pandemic, which negatively impacted on the livelihoods of our people. Science and innovation became the greatest of needs more than ever. Now we must ensure that we support and promote science and innovation to make a societal impact. Science and innovation should be understood as an international phenomenon which stems from the local. Therefore, our programs should always have local impact as an objective. Honorable Chairperson, as a country, one of our developmental objectives is through international cooperation. We believe that our strategic interests in science, technology, and innovation can be advanced through the promotion and transformation of an inclusive and coherent national system of innovation. The budget vote is set to support 129 projects with donor funders, which is targeted for the acceleration of a coherent system of scientific innovation. The department has a goal of getting 1,270 South African students. Listen, honorable member, you may learn something. 1,270 South African students to participate in international programs over the medium term with a target of 55% women and 60% being youth to increase the number of scientists we produce for the country and to provide these students with international exposure. China, for example, has over 290,000 students studying in the USA. This is a strategic move to harness the country's competitive advantage. We're encouraged by the plans to hold engagement with 36 science, technology, and innovation leaders. This is important as part of promoting science dialogue and encouraging innovation. The department strides in ensuring that we produce key plans for science and innovation for the benefit of our country through engagements are crucial. We need to increase science journalism in our country to demonstrate the groundbreaking work done in our country. This will also assist in promoting maths and science amongst children and amongst the girl child in particular to address the gender inequality in the sciences. Honorable Minister, our science, technology, and innovation leaders should be deployed to our communities to be role models for our children in the basic education system. House Chairperson, we support the sector innovation and green economy, which is a sub-program for the provision of policy, strategy, and direction for growth in strategic sectors of the economy. In the midst of our energy crisis, we need to leverage our science capabilities in our entities to aid the nation's load shedding response and the just energy transition to a green economy through science and innovation. South Africa and the continent can position themselves as producers of green economy products by leveraging the natural mineral resources which are critical for the green economy, such as hydrogen, platinum, and other minerals that are critical for the green economy. Honorable members, the department's entities play a key and strategic role in science and innovation, as we believe through the monitoring of their progress as a committee, we are set to have intended outcomes and impact. The entity of the Academy of Science of South Africa is a base for the promotion of brilliance and progressive achievements in fields of scientific inquiry. It assists in the provision of evidence-based advice concerning science for our government and other important government stakeholders. The Academy is set to produce 15 lectures on scientific topics that will enhance the level of research and development of science. These 15 lectures will be coming from 12 strategic partners with players in the science community that will be able to publish 6 journal titles on the Scientific Electronic Library online open access platform. As a committee, it has not only been concerned with science in isolation, but as well technological advancements for science. We welcome the fact that these lectures will be accessible digitally. Knowledge which is not accessible can be redundant. Therefore, we disseminate research not only for scientists, but to ensure it is accessible for persons with different literacy levels as we apply sciences in our daily lives. Honorable Chairperson, the department has key priorities and programs for the practical implementation and sustainable development of socioeconomic innovation growth in areas specific to aerospace, the advanced manufacturing of chemicals, advanced metals, as well as ICT facilitating the development of new targeted industries led by research and development is important. We note that the department has committed itself to funding 600 interns trained and set ready to translate the knowledge into practical skills. Over 60 unemployed young people in various provinces were successfully trained by the Department of Science and Innovation in qualitative data collection methods, as well as the technology used to document. The department seeks to have 145 knowledge and innovation products in South Africa's intellectual property portfolio. The committee noted further that the department is set to fund 15 instruments in support of increased localization, competitiveness, and industrial development, led by the priority of research deliverables and developmental outputs. Research should benefit local economic development and leverage our competitive advantage as a country to compete globally. Honorable Chairperson, the Council for Science and Industrial Research, an entity of the department, has been crucial in the process of research resource for fostering improvement of the country's ability to efficiently deliver basic services in fields such as health, education, energy for the people, and in so doing, be able to deal with inequalities. The CSIR has set targets of 56 registered patents and will be able to publish 960 journal articles over the medium term. The CSIR is set to implement a range of research development and innovation programs in areas such as health, energy, defense, and security with an estimated budget of 8.4 billion. Now, we hope that this will yield more positive results for job creation and the development of industries due to innovation for the country. Now, let me respond. Chair, let me remind honorable members that today's debate is actually on science and innovation, and tomorrow is higher education. It's a pity that you used up your small allocation of minutes to be off the topic. It is most unfortunate. It is most unfortunate that it took a black child to believe that in 29 years, you can deal with 300 years infrastructure that was only benefiting a few. You see the difference? The difference is not that we are not innovative. The difference is that we are not, it's not that we are not innovative. This government has actually provided electricity to the millions of South Africans that your masters deprived for years. The demand for electricity became more because we provided electricity to communities that were not electrified.
Honorable Pillay.
Sadly.
Honorable, just take your seat. There's a hand. I recognize you.
Chairperson, will the honorable take a question?
Honorable Pillay, would you take the question? Are you the honorable?
Yeah, I won't waste my time. I have allocated minutes.
Chairperson, anyway, he needs to explain to us
Are you
how
taking
him
a
as a
question,
color,
Honorable?
or him as an
he's not.
Indian.
Honorable member, he's not taking a question. You may proceed, honorable member.
Thank you, Chair. We use our minutes constructively. Sadly, there are those, and please listen to this carefully. There are those who are hell-bent on keeping us as a country bound by chains of the past. They don't want to see the African child develop and become better than them. I have news for you, not in our name. We will become successful and we will develop. We will occupy the space and we will claim victories. Honorable member of the FF, indeed, you are not going to see this minister as you are sitting in a different committee. Just to remind you, he is the Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation. And now that you have joined this committee, you will see him. You can't expect to go to Nando's and want to find KFC. Further, honorable member, can you share this knowledge that you have on 6 million megawatts of energy that can be produced from turning waste to energy? We'd love to hear about this. How do you not support a budget of this nature? It can only mean, honorable member, how do you not support a budget of this nature? It can only mean that you are not progressive and don't want to see the expansion of science and innovation.
The point of order.
For some,
I want to understand, is a member allowed to say to another member they are not progressive?
Honorable member. No.
Can you
honorable
rule,
member.
chair, not you howling?
Honorable member.
Can the chairperson rule? Respect the chair.
Honorable members, how? Honorable member, it's unfortunate that you didn't direct to any member, you just generalized members. No, I'm referring to what you have asked, I'm responding to. Honorable Pillay, you may proceed.
Honorable Chairperson, as a progressive member of this House, let me say that for some of us, the role is just to oppose. Oppose. Just living up to the title of opposition and never constructive. Honorable Noble, all we ever hear is this corruption. Can you provide us with just one case number that you have reported? It seems you have this information but do nothing with it. I have to remind you, honorable members, I have to remind you that your rise to fame and your moonshot pact has already failed before you even took off. You have been removed from Joburg and you soon will be removed from Nelson Mandela Bay. Honorable Chairperson, the African National Congress supports the budget with no doubts that the government's work and efforts that our government's works and efforts for our country are centered on the people and the creation of a better life for all. Come 2024, we will still be the ruling party in these chambers. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable
Chairperson, may I please address you?
members. Honorable
Chair.
members, order, there's a point of.
Chair, may I
Honorable
please
member.
address you?
Yes, please. Mayor.
Chair, it is unparliamentary for members of this house to take photos of the opposition, and I did not want to disturb you because I can see that already 3 of my members have been chased. And Honorable April there at the back, he was busy taking photos with his device. Can you please rule on that?
Honorable members, you are reminded, order. Honorable members from both sides of the house. Honorable members, you are reminded. Thank you for raising that. Order, honorable members, order. Honorable members, order. Unfortunately, I can't send you out, all of you. I'll be left with myself here. Honorable members, be careful that I don't call you 3 times. You are correct, honorable member, by raising that and bring it to my notice. That reminds all of us that you are not allowed to take the pictures inside the house. I'm giving him a warning and everybody else, including yourself. Honorable members, Honorable Mam Kaula, are you pointing at me, say something, or you are doing both? Honorable members, you won't like if I apply the rules to the team. We proceed. I now recognize Honorable Makaula, the second time, one more. Thank you. Honorable members, I now recognize the Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Honorable House Chair and honorable members. Let me start by thanking all the members who supported this budget vote. Siyabonga kakhulu. Indlela senizohlala ikhanya njalo ngoba into ezinhle niyazibona nezinenqubekela phambili. Abangayifuni lezi zinto abasalele emuva. I also just want to address this issue of the hydrogen economy. 2 quick things. One, we are doing a lot in the hydrogen space to begin to actually pilot with hydrogen fuel cells. At number 1 military hospital, we're also going to be, we've also deployed fuel cells in Ilembe district to power some of the rural parts of that district. Also in the area of training, we do indeed recognize that the racial and gender balance in terms of the hydrogen economy is far from nowhere. We have the skills plan. I've asked the 2 digits, by the way, of higher education and training and science and innovation to come up with a skills plan to actually support the hydrogen economy. We are also having a skills master plan. Some of the, or part of the skills master plan is to say, how do we develop more skills in areas where there is a shortage? By the way, Honorable Bishop, when we say we need to affirm blacks and women, it's because you can't build a non-racial society without affirming black people, even our history. You can't build a non-sexist society without affirming women. But to do so is not to be anti-man. That is what is very important to them. We can't have a non-racial society if we still exclude the majority. It does not mean that we do not appreciate those white compatriots who have committed themselves to actually do good for South Africa. That is very important that we actually say that on our part. We also want to say that, to emphasize, let me welcome what Honorable Spear was saying, the importance of science in job creation. That's precisely what our message was in this part, and especially to also focus on the youth. Also, Honorable Pillay has emphasized an important point that has been a sore point for me. You know, when I tell some of the journalists and the media, they measure us at the end of the year how you perform. Most of those media houses They measure my work. They do not have one science journalist amongst them. None whatsoever. In fact, in South Africa, we are short of science journalism, and it's a very serious matter. It's a pity the public broadcaster is not doing enough, though we are working with them now, to actually do that, so that we are able to place science where it actually belongs. Into abayithandayo ezobhesta yibo abagijima nazo, ngeke ubezwe begijima nezinto eziyinqubekela phambili ukuthi senzani lana kulo mnyango wezobuchwepheshe. So that point that we are making, it's a very important point. Also, we want to say to Honorable King, don't come and prescribe to us what we should do with NAF. Come and engage us. And also I want to say, Honorable Bishop, you have been raising this matter, by the way, about the SKA and whether it's making the kind of a contribution. I am now requesting my chief of staff to please make me an appointment with Honorable Bishop. Let's sit down. I would like to engage you so that we actually debate these things, and I'm also able to point out what we are doing. And indeed, you will feel free to point out where you think we are not doing okay and we could be doing better. By the way, this is an offer to all other members and to all other political parties. The EFF, I thought they started better today. They were debating. Talking about science was forcing them to debate, even if we are disagreeing. Kodwa nasenigcina ngale nto eniyenza njalo namhlanje. Uyazi ukuba ngikho nje eParliament ngabe ngithi anive niphoxa kodwa. Siqale kahle, mamkhawula, senigcina niyenza le nto eniyenzayo zonke insuku ukuthi you have to throw your toys out of the court. Noma ngabe sikhuluma ngeinto ezibaleke kanjani. Into zabantu lezi, abantu abafuna ukuzonibona ngeengubo zenu ezibovu ukuthi niyaqhuma nenze njani. Ibe njalo nifake no-Louis Vuitton ngaphansi kwalezo ngubo. Siyakwazi lokho, siyabonga mphathi wohlelo. Thank you very much.
Honorable members, order. Honorable members, honorable members, honorable members. Members are reminded that the debate on public enterprise budget vote will take place at 16:15 in the Good Hope Chamber, and the debate for public works and infrastructure budget vote